My dog liked you more than me, so I left her in the woods. Amanda's voice oozed with smug satisfaction over the phone, each word dipped in spite. My grip tightened on the kitchen counter as I fought to control my breathing. My sister-in-law kept talking, either unaware of my shock, or worse, enjoying it. At 32, I never imagined I'd have to confront someone so heartless they'd dump a service animal in the middle of nowhere, but Amanda had done just that, calmly admitting she'd driven my medical alert dog, Luna, far into the Cascade Mountains and abandoned her. She'll probably wander into someone else's life, Amanda said lightly, as though she wasn't describing an act of cruelty, hopefully someone who actually deserves her. I barely processed her words. My attention was glued to my laptop, where a blinking dot moved slowly across a topographical map. Luna, my white German Shepherd and trained blood sugar alert dog, was wearing a GPS collar. Amanda had always mocked it, calling it overkill. You should tune into the news, I said evenly, eyes still fixed on the map. The blinking dot moved steadily toward the ranger station where my friend Marcus worked. Amanda's confidence faltered. Why, what are you talking about? Nothing important, I said, but I think you'll find tonight's story quite enlightening. I ended the call before she could push further and immediately dialed Marcus. She's about a half-mile from you, I told him once he answered, heading northeast along the main path. We're already out there, he said. We've got the park's entry logs, trail cams, everything. Amanda picked the worst possible place to pull this. Relief fought against the lingering dread inside me. Without Luna, I'd have to manually monitor my blood sugar, a task she usually handled before I noticed symptoms. I grabbed my test kit and tried to focus. The GPS tracker showed Luna had stopped moving. I zoomed in. She was at the creek near the ranger station, exactly where she was trained to wait. Even abandoned, she followed her training flawlessly. My phone lit up. Amanda again. What do you mean, the news? She demanded. Are you threatening me? I don't issue threats, I replied, but since you're curious, tune into Channel 8. They're running a story tonight about service dogs, and the federal penalties for tampering with them. There was a pause, then I heard the TV click on in the background. A moment later, Amanda gasped as the anchor spoke about hefty fines and possible jail time for interfering with service animals. You're bluffing, she snapped, but I could hear the panic in her voice. You can't prove anything. The GPS collar, the cameras in the park, and your very clear confession on the phone, which I recorded. By the way, should I go on? A sharp inhale. You set me up. No, Amanda, you did this to yourself. I just made sure Luna wasn't left unprotected. From the moment James introduced us, Amanda had been oddly obsessed with Luna. At first, I thought it was admiration, but that admiration turned sour, jealousy. She despised how loyal Luna was to me, how she ignored Amanda's commands. She's just a dog, Amanda used to sneer, trying to pull Luna's attention mid-task. She should treat everyone the same. But Luna wasn't just a pet, she was my guardian, trained to keep me alive, and Amanda couldn't handle that. A message popped up from Marcus. Got her, Luna's safe, cops are here, come down when you can. Relief washed over me. I returned to the call, where Amanda was still ranting about how unfair everything was. The police have Luna now, I interrupted. I'm on my way to give my statement. You want to tell your side, or should I just send them the recording? You wouldn't dare, she cried. James will never forgive you if I get arrested. Another voice cut through hers, cold and controlled. James is more worried about the kind of person who dumps a service animal in the wilderness. My brother. Amanda's tone shifted fast. James, wait, I can explain. She always cared more about that dog than. More than what? He snapped. More than your constant need to be the center of everything? More than your jealousy over a dog that literally saves my sister's life? Rustling on the line, James must have taken the phone. Liv, is Luna okay? She's safe, I said, trying not to cry. He let out a shaky breath. Thank God. I'm sorry, I knew she was possessive, but I never thought she'd do something this vile. It's not on you, I said gently, though we both knew Amanda had been pushing boundaries for a while, but I need to get this filed. I'm going with you, James said, and Liv? Press charges, no hesitation. I grabbed my keys. Amanda was still yelling in the background, but I barely noticed. My hands didn't shake anymore. Luna was safe, and Amanda was about to learn there are real consequences for letting jealousy fester. I glanced one last time at the map. The tracker was still. She was safe. The sun was dipping behind the mountains as I drove, casting deep shadows on the winding road. I'd always loved the Cascades. That night, they meant even more. They had shielded Luna, unmasked Amanda, and reminded me that preparedness and good allies make all the difference. As I pulled into the ranger station's lot, the lights glowed softly through the dusk. Marcus stood outside, and beside him, tail swishing in controlled excitement, was Luna. She spotted my car but stayed still, trained and disciplined, her tail the only giveaway of her emotion. "You're clear," Marcus said, releasing her from her command. Luna trotted toward me, posture perfect, immediately sniffing to check for low glucose. I dropped to my knees, hugging her tight as my composure broke. Marcus gave me a moment, then motioned us inside. "She picked the dumbest possible spot to try this," he said. "We've got her on 5 trail cams, her plates on video." She even waved at one of the cameras like an amateur. Inside, officers were reviewing footage. One was jotting down notes as another watched Amanda's red SUV drive through the gates at 2:47 p.m. Then later, dragging Luna onto the trail and nervously glancing around. "Miss Parker?" A female officer approached. "I'm Officer Rivera. I'll need a statement, but first, can you confirm this is your service animal and identify the woman in these images?" "Yes, that's Luna, my medical alert dog," I said. Luna sat quietly beside me. "And that's Amanda Parker, my sister-in-law." The door opened behind us. James stepped in, eyes dark with fury, but they softened the moment he saw Luna. "Thank God," he breathed, then, turning to Rivera, said, "I'm James Parker, Olivia's brother, and Amanda's husband. I want to press charges too." "You can't charge your own wife." Amanda burst into the room, face streaked with makeup and panic. "James, please, I did it for us." The room went still. Luna edged closer to me, alert but calm. "For us?" James repeated coldly. James's voice was dangerously calm, the kind of quiet that comes before a storm. "Please explain how abandoning my sister's medical alert dog was somehow for us." Amanda's eyes flicked around the room, lingering on the police officers, the footage on screen, and the mounting evidence that surrounded her like a noose tightening. "She's always putting that dog above everyone else," she blurted. "Every visit, it's Luna this, Luna that. I couldn't even pet her. She acts like that dog is a person." "She isn't a person," I said, my voice level, "but she is my lifeline. You didn't just ditch a pet in the woods, you risked my life. On purpose." "I didn't mean," Amanda stammered. "She's just a dog. You people are acting like I set fire to a hospital." Officer Rivera took a step forward, face unreadable. "Mrs. Parker, under federal law, tampering with a service animal is a criminal offense, given the pre-planned nature of your actions, the surveillance footage, and your recorded phone admission. You're looking at serious charges." I raised my phone. I have the call saved, and the text where she said she'd solve the Luna problem. "You want screenshots?" Amanda turned pale. "James, please, don't let them do this to me. I'm your wife. Olivia's my sister. You can't let them ruin my life over a dog." James turned to her, face frozen over with disbelief. "Luna isn't just a dog, Amanda. She's a trained medical device. Would you smash Olivia's insulin pump, toss her glucose reader into the garbage? That's exactly what you did." Marcus cleared his throat. "We also caught her last month on camera, feeding Luna from the table while she was working. That was at the family reunion, right?" My heart sank. I remembered that day, how distracted Luna had been. Amanda had insisted she hadn't done anything. "You've been undermining her for weeks," I said quietly. "You've been waiting for a moment to do something worse." Amanda said nothing. Rivera gave a nod. "Mrs. Parker, you're under arrest for service animal interference and attempted endangerment. You have the right to remain silent." The click of the handcuffs echoed like punctuation. Amanda glanced back at James as the officers led her away, her expression shifting from rage to desperation, but he wasn't looking at her. His eyes were fixed on me and Luna, his face drawn with guilt and disbelief. The door closed behind her with a thud. James sank into a chair and buried his face in his hands. "I didn't know it was this bad," he murmured. "I thought she just didn't like dogs. I had no clue how far she'd go." "It's not on you," I said gently. Luna rested her head on his knee, ever intuitive. Marcus handed over 2 steaming mugs of coffee, as we wrapped up the paperwork. The grainy footage played in the background, Amanda pulling into the park, glancing over her shoulder, casually waving at the trail camera before disappearing into the woods. "That GPS collar saved everything," Marcus said. Luna followed protocol perfectly, beeline straight for the ranger station. I stroked Luna's fur, my chest tight with emotion. I never thought I'd need to use it to protect her from family. James was quiet for a long moment, watching Luna with new understanding, his jaw clenched as if trying to keep his emotions from spilling over. She was right in front of me, all those comments, all that bitterness, and I didn't see how deep it ran. Marcus pulled me aside as we filed the final report. The DA's team wants to make an example out of this. Service dog abuse cases have been rising. With your documentation and the evidence, this is exactly the case they've been waiting for. I nodded. Amanda didn't just cross a line, she obliterated it. The trial came fast. The prosecution laid everything bare: surveillance clips, GPS data, the call recording. The courtroom stiffened when Amanda's voice echoed through the speakers. Your dog likes you more than me, so I left her in the forest. That moment shifted the entire room. Even Amanda's lawyer couldn't salvage what followed. James filed for divorce the same week. I can't stay married to someone who endangered your life out of jealousy, he said over coffee. She wasn't just cruel, she was reckless. Luna lay between us, alert and calm as ever. I keep thinking about what could have happened, James added quietly, if you hadn't had that tracker, if Luna hadn't known what to do. Amanda was sentenced to 6 months in jail, fined heavily, and barred from any interaction with service animals for life. At her sentencing, she told the judge, I just wanted the dog to love me too. The judge didn't blink. This was never about affection. You endangered a vital medical asset. Jealousy isn't an excuse, it's a motive. In the months that followed, Luna and I slipped back into our rhythm. Her reliability became a grounding force as I processed everything. The local service animal training center invited me to speak at orientation events. I accepted. Luna sat beside me, poised and calm as I addressed a group of new handlers. Trust your gut, I told them. If someone's behavior around your dog doesn't feel right, document it. Take it seriously, it could save your life. James started volunteering at the center, too. It helped him heal. One day, as he watched Luna alert me to a drop in blood sugar, he shook his head in awe. She's incredible, he said softly. Amanda didn't just envy her, she resented something she didn't understand. The day Amanda was released, her lawyer delivered a letter to me. Dear Olivia, I still don't fully understand the bond between you and Luna, but I now realize what I did was dangerous and wrong. Therapy helped me see the roots of my jealousy, and I want to apologize for putting you both at risk. I won't reach out again. Amanda. I folded the letter and slid it into a drawer. Luna lay beside my feet, the soft rhythm of her breathing a steady reminder of what mattered. Her GPS collar blinked gently, our silent insurance. Marcus still sends trail cam clips, handlers and dogs working in tandem, safe and focused. The tracking program we used is now standard for dozens of teams across the state. As I type this, Luna lies curled beside my chair, constant, calm, the living embodiment of trust and loyalty. James visits often, his path forward is still unfolding, but he carries a quiet wisdom now. You know, he said recently, eyes on Luna, Amanda was never mad at the dog. She was mad at something she couldn't control, the strength of a bond she didn't belong to. I looked down at my companion, my protector, and smiled. Some bonds aren't just strong, they're unshakable. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay aware, and we'll see you next time.